All right, welcome back to another episode of Forge. In this episode, we're going to talk about how the personnel link and the operations and leaderships links especially are tied together. Today, I'm going to show you how you can know how to coach, when to coach, and when to fire. Because knowing the difference and knowing when to fire and how to fire is an important part of business, running any organization, running any department. I've got a belief here that you need to hire fast, fire faster, and promote fastest. And so you want to hire fast. You want to be able to go get the right people in, right? And then you want to fire faster. If people aren't a fit, you got to let them go. It's going to be better for you, better for them if there's a misalignment. And that alignment is partially what we're going to be talking about here today. And then promote fastest because you want to reward high performers. So, but you can't get to that point and knowing how to coach or when to coach and when to fire unless you have yourself put together. You understand the brand, you understand the business, you understand the why. In another video, I highly recommend Simon Sinek's Start With Why and his golden circle. You got to understand the core of who the business is, the core values, the brand promise. Things like that need to be clearly understood by leaders especially, and then reinforced and understood by everyone. And then you got to start asking yourself, okay, are we putting those things into practice? What are our operations like? What does the onboarding process look like? What do the day-to-day tasks for these people look like? Are they clear? Are the job descriptions and the expectations very clear? Because if you don't have those things locked down, what's going to happen is you're going to go hire someone else, and then you're going to run into the same problems. So you're going to fire, and then you're going to hire someone else, and you run into the same problems. So the personnel is deeply linked with your leadership and with your operations. So you can create a place where people can come in and be successful and thrive. And so what we have here is this process that is really easy to follow, flow chart. You can ask yourself some simple questions to know, okay, what do we need to do with this person, right? So if you're having a problem, you're having an issue with someone, you can ask yourself these questions like, did we recruit the right person? If the answer is yes, go on to the next question. But starting with like, hey, did we get the right person? Are they who we thought they were? And then did we onboard them correctly? That's the next question. Did you give them the opportunity to succeed? Did you give them clear expectations from the beginning? Did you train them in the way? Again, so now we're getting onboarding to, did we train them properly? Train them in the way that you need them to operate. The beautiful thing about hiring someone is from the beginning, if you teach them what needs to happen, they don't know anything else within your organization. That's the way that they know. That's the expectation is set. So you got to ask those questions. Did you recruit right? Did you onboard properly? Did you train? And then if the answer to all of those is yes, then you go on to the next questions. If the answer to any of those questions is no, then that's a leadership problem. See, this personnel problem is actually a leadership problem and an operations problem. And so again, here's the whole idea behind Forge and showing you these links and how they connect is an issue rising up in personnel. This person or this group of people, this department is having problems. That seems like a personnel issue. But if you ask the right questions, you may uncover that it's not actually part of the personnel link. Yes, there's a problem in personnel that needs to be solved, but if you just toss that out and go and replace those people, you're going to end up with the same problem because the problem is actually originating. So the next set of questions is you have to ask, are their tasks aligned and organized? Job duties communicated clearly and thoroughly? And do they have the proper expectations set and understood? So again, you're going to ask those questions and you're going to say, if we've done that, if you can honestly say yes, 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 then you go to the next set of questions. If you say no to any one of those, that's leadership. That's you, that's your directors, department heads, managers, whatever it is that needs to make sure that those things are happening. And then last set of questions here is has the culture been created and is it clearly communicated? So this is about, core values and how we interact with each other. We get a commitment from that person from the beginning, from onboarding and throughout their time with the company. Did we gain a commitment from them to live up to those expectations? And then did we hold them accountable to those expectations? Did we let things slide? What I love to say, and I believe strongly, is that if you permit something, you promote it. So if you permitted some sort of type of behavior, you were actually promoting it. So you have to ask these questions. And again, if the answer to all of them is yes, and you've answered all 9 of these questions yes, that's probably someone who needs to be fired or at least put on some type of probation or disciplinary action. Okay. If the answer to any of them is no, then that's leadership. You've got to say, what can we do better to hold people accountable? Now, that's not to say that someone who's having a problem doesn't need to be, whatever your process is of writing someone up or a corrective action or something, that can still happen. But if that's the only action you're taking while asking these questions and saying, well, no, I didn't do that, then those problems are going to keep happening with that person and with other individuals. And so you got to get your leadership and your operations right so that you can have a strong personnel link in your business. So again, the entire idea here is hopefully to get you to see how these links connect together and they impact each other. A change in one creates a change in another. Creating strong leadership and strong operations will, it maybe not always result in strong personnel, but will create an environment where strong personnel can come to the forefront. So if you want people to achieve and succeed and thrive, you've got to have clear expectations. You've got to have their jobs outlined. You've got to train them and onboard them properly. And then something I love also to say is that if you do that right, then you can let them loose. You hired the right person. They're smart, capable. You let them loose and you let them go perform in a blaze of glory. And if they have questions, they ask you. And if they're not asking questions, but you've done all of these things right, you can assume that they're performing in a blaze of glory because you've given them all the tools to succeed. And then if they don't, and if there's failure, now you can say, hey, look, the accountable party here is this person. Otherwise, the accountable party is actually you, and you need to make those changes. So let me know what you think. How do you handle these situations? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more videos and continue to learn about the links of business and how they interact and strengthen each other.